Have you ever woken from a dream only to find yourself walking the halls of a school you left years ago, or standing in a place that no longer fits your life? For the chosen ones, these dreams are not random echoes of memory, they are messages from the soul. They are a subtle reminder that every space we have ever occupied, every lesson learned, every challenge endured, has been a stepping stone towards something far greater than we could have imagined. When you revisit places you have outgrown, your mind is not lingering in the past. It is drawing a sacred map of your journey. These visions are mirrors, reflecting the distance you have traveled, the strength you have gained, and the transformation that has quietly taken root within you. The hallways you once walked may feel familiar, yet they are now illuminated by a new perspective, a higher awareness, a recognition that the child, the student, the version of yourself who once walked those paths, was preparing you for your destiny. Dreaming of old spaces is also a spiritual checkpoint, a nudge from the universe to integrate your past with your present. It whispers that nothing was wasted, no struggle meaningless, and no memory insignificant. For the chosen ones, the past is not a place of limitation, it is a reservoir of power, insight, and preparation. Your dreams are guiding you to honor your journey, to acknowledge your growth, and to step fully into the life you were always meant to claim. Now let me enlighten you the more. Number 1. Echoes of early foundations. Every chosen soul carries within them invisible roots that trace back to the earliest chapters of their life. The classrooms, hallways, and playgrounds of your past are far more than mere memory. They are sacred grounds where the foundations of your character were quietly laid. These spaces witnessed your first acts of courage, your earliest confrontations with fear, and the initial sparks of curiosity that would one day ignite your destiny. When the subconscious leads you back to these places in dreams, it is not nostalgia, it is a deliberate pilgrimage. In those familiar corners, the soul recognizes the subtle patterns that shaped your resilience, your vision, and your sense of purpose. Each desk you once sat at, each corridor you walked, holds an energetic imprint of the lessons your spirit needed to learn. For the chosen, these echoes are reminders that destiny is never random. It is cultivated, nurtured quietly in the soil of experience, long before the world even notices. To dream of these old spaces is to hear the whisper of your own, becoming a call to honor the journey, to remember the formative forces that made you who you are, and to acknowledge that the very foundations of your past were preparing you for a life far greater than you ever imagined. Number 2. Testing growth against the past. For the chosen, dreams of places they have outgrown are not mere echoes of memory. They are subtle tests, spiritual mirrors designed to measure the distance they have traveled. When you find yourself walking the halls of an old school or revisiting a neighborhood from your youth, your subconscious is quietly holding up a mirror to your evolution. It asks, look how far you've come. Do you see the transformation in yourself? These visions are never about returning, they are about auditing. Every forgotten classroom, every familiar doorway, every worn path is a benchmark of your growth. The child, the student, the younger version of you that once inhabited these spaces represents a version of yourself bound by limitations, insecurities, and untested potential. Your presence there now, in dreams, is a powerful reminder that you have transcended those limitations. The chosen do not linger in these places out of longing, they visit to recognize their own progress. Dreams of the past become a sacred report card, revealing not failure or regret, but the quiet triumph of evolution. Each encounter with an old space reassures the soul. You are no longer defined by who you were, you are measured by who you have become, and by the limitless possibilities that lie ahead. Number 3. Unfinished energetic loops. Life is rarely linear, and for the chosen, the soul often carries invisible threads of unfinished energy lessons, left incomplete, emotions left unprocessed, or spiritual awakenings partially realized. Dreams of old schools, neighborhoods, or other past spaces are not coincidences. They are invitations from the subconscious to return and complete what was once left undone. These energetic loops act like gentle nudges from the universe, reminding the chosen that growth is not just about forward motion, it is also about resolution. Every unresolved argument, every unspoken word, every fear or insecurity that once seemed insurmountable continues to ripple beneath the surface until acknowledged and integrated. In dreams, the soul stages a sacred rehearsal, offering the chance to face, understand, and release what the waking mind may have overlooked. For the chosen, revisiting these spaces is a form of spiritual housekeeping. It allows them to close cycles with awareness and intention, transforming past shadows into lessons, old wounds into wisdom, and lingering doubts into clarity. These dreams are not anchors to the past, they are bridges. They remind the chosen that destiny is not just about moving ahead, it is about weaving together every thread of experience, completing the patterns of the soul, and stepping into life whole and empowered. Number 4. Recognition of origins. No matter how high the chosen soar, there remains an invisible tether to the soil that nurtured them, the classrooms that challenged them, and the streets that shaped them. Dreaming of past places is not a longing to return. It is a sacred acknowledgement of where the journey began. These visions honor the origins that quietly equipped the chosen with the resilience, creativity, and determination necessary to ascend beyond ordinary expectations. The halls of an old school, the worn benches, the familiar lockers, they are more than memories. They are energetic anchors, reservoirs of early courage, discovery, and awakening. In revisiting these spaces through dreams, the chosen reconnect with the parts of themselves that first learned to persevere, to question, to hope. It is a form of spiritual gratitude, a silent bow to the foundation that made growth possible. This recognition does not tether the soul to the past. Rather, it strengthens the present. By honoring where they came from, the chosen gain clarity about who they are now and the magnitude of what they are becoming. Every dream of these roots serves as a gentle reminder. The strength to rise does not erase the soil from which you grew, it amplifies it, turning origin into fuel for destiny. Number 5. Foreshadowing of future challenges. For the chosen, dreams are not just echoes of memory, they are subtle forecasts, preparing the soul for the trials yet to come. When familiar places from the past appear in dreams, the subconscious is weaving a bridge between what was and what will be. Old schools, neighborhoods, or once familiar streets are transformed into symbolic landscapes, reflecting challenges, choices, and decisions that lie ahead. These visions act as rehearsal spaces for the spirit. The corridors you once navigated as a student may now represent pathways of opportunity, obstacles, or ethical dilemmas awaiting your discernment. By revisiting them in dreams, the chosen are quietly trained to recognize patterns, anticipate consequences, and approach future challenges with clarity and courage. The past becomes a coded guide, offering insight into situations that might otherwise feel overwhelming or unforeseen. For the chosen, this is not mere coincidence. It is a form of spiritual strategy. Dreams prepare them emotionally, mentally, and energetically to face what is coming, often showing that the answers and strengths needed have already been seeded within. Each familiar image is a whisper from the soul. You have been here before, in essence. Trust your growth, draw upon your roots, and step boldly into the future that is unfolding. Number 6. Mirror of inner transformation. For the chosen, dreams of old schools, neighborhoods, or familiar spaces are more than mere recollections. They are reflective mirrors, showing the contrast between who they once were and who they are becoming. Each classroom, hallway, or street is imbued with the energy of a younger self, a version of the soul still learning, testing boundaries, and discovering limits. When these places appear in dreams, they are illuminated by the light of your present awareness, creating a striking juxtaposition between past and present. This mirror is not meant to induce regret or nostalgia. It serves as a profound measure of growth. The child or teenager you once were may have been uncertain, timid, or untested, but the person standing in the dream today carries wisdom, resilience, and a deepening sense of purpose. The contrast becomes a symbolic celebration of progress, a spiritual acknowledgement that every step taken, every struggle endured, has contributed to the evolution of your soul. For the chosen, such dreams are empowering. They remind you that transformation is not abstract, it is visible, tangible, and alive within your spirit. The past becomes a canvas, and your present self is the masterpiece painted upon it, reflecting the journey, the growth, and the limitless potential that lies ahead. Number 7. Hidden messages in nostalgia. For the chosen, nostalgia is rarely random. When dreams transport them to familiar places, schools, childhood streets, or old neighborhoods, the mind is often encoding spiritual insights within the comfort of memory. These settings act as symbolic vessels, concealing messages about destiny, life decisions, or personal growth that the conscious mind might otherwise overlook. What seems like a simple return to the past is, in truth, a carefully orchestrated dialogue between the soul and the subconscious. In these dreams, every detail, the angle of a hallway, the faces of classmates, the texture of familiar objects can carry subtle meaning. A forgotten classroom might highlight a lesson left incomplete, while a long-abandoned playground could symbolize the joy or freedom the soul needs to reclaim. The chosen are being guided to look beyond the surface, to decode patterns and connect them with their present circumstances. These hidden messages transform nostalgia into a spiritual compass. By paying attention, the chosen uncover insights about choices, relationships, and opportunities that may otherwise remain invisible. Dreams of the past become a sacred language, reminding them that memory is not just a mirror of what was, it is a map for what is coming, a guidepost toward the destiny they are being prepared to embrace. Number 8. Testing emotional resilience. For the chosen, dreams of past spaces are not merely visits, they are subtle trials of the spirit. Re-entering schools, neighborhoods, or other formative environments allows the soul to confront fears, insecurities, and limitations that may have lingered unnoticed. These dreams are not about nostalgia or longing. They are carefully crafted opportunities to face what once held power over you, ensuring it does not follow you into new chapters of life. Each familiar corridor or classroom becomes a symbolic arena where old challenges are re-examined with the wisdom of the present. A teacher once intimidating may now represent the inner critic you have learned to overcome. A hallway once filled with anxiety may symbolize past self-doubt transformed into courage. By engaging with these spaces in dreams, the chosen are actively auditing their emotional growth, testing whether resilience has taken root and strength has been internalized. This process ensures that as the chosen move forward, they do so unburdened. Old shadows are acknowledged, reframed, and released, leaving the soul lighter, clearer, and more confident. Dreams of the past are thus not regressions, they are spiritual exercises, forging emotional resilience and preparing the chosen to step into new phases of life with integrity, courage, and unwavering inner strength. Soul's way of celebrating triumphs. For the chosen, dreams of past places are not always about lessons or challenges, they are often subtle celebrations. When the mind revisits old schools, streets, or neighborhoods, it quietly acknowledges the distance the soul has traveled. These dreams are a spiritual nod to victories that may have gone unnoticed in waking life, a recognition that every small triumph, every obstacle overcome, and every fear faced has contributed to the person they have become. In these sacred dreamscapes, the chosen are reminded that growth is cumulative. The playground where they once felt small may now feel familiar and empowering. The classroom where doubts once lingered may now radiate confidence and clarity. Even without fanfare or applause, the soul celebrates the quiet but profound progress that has been achieved. This reflective acknowledgement is deeply healing. It reinforces self-worth, affirms resilience, and strengthens the inner knowing that every experience, no matter how challenging, was preparing the chosen for greater heights. Dreams become a personal ceremony, a private yet powerful moment where the soul can pause, honor itself, and recognize that transcending the past is in itself a remarkable triumph. Through these visions, the chosen are reminded progress is happening, even when it feels invisible. Invitation to integrate the past. For the chosen, dreams of old schools, neighborhoods, or familiar spaces are more than reflections. They are gentle invitations from the soul to weave the past into the present. Every hallway walked, every classroom experienced, every moment of triumph or struggle has left an imprint on the spirit, forming the intricate tapestry of destiny. These dreams ask the chosen to recognize that nothing in their journey was wasted, and that every chapter holds wisdom, insight, and strength to be integrated into who they are becoming. By revisiting these spaces, the chosen are encouraged to honor the entirety of their journey. The past is not a weight to carry nor a place to linger. It is a reservoir of power, lessons, and perspective that can guide every present decision. Dreams of these familiar environments remind the soul that integration is the key to wholeness. This process transforms memory into mastery. The chosen learn to embrace their origins, lessons, and even past limitations as essential threads of their evolving narrative. By consciously weaving the past into the present, they step into life fully aligned with their purpose, carrying every experience not as a burden, but as a source of profound strength, insight, and the power to create a destiny that is uniquely their own. In conclusion, as the journey comes full circle, one truth becomes clear. The places you revisit in dreams are not pulling you backward. They are revealing how far you have risen. For the chosen, every old school, every forgotten hallway, every familiar path is a sacred reminder that growth is real, intentional, and ongoing. These dreams are proof that your life has been guided, refined, and shaped with purpose. Even during seasons when you felt lost or unseen, your past was never a mistake. It was a training ground. The confusion, the limitations, the waiting, the lessons you didn't understand at the time, all of it was preparing you for the awareness you now carry. When your subconscious brings these places back to you, it is not asking you to return. It is asking you to recognize your transformation, to integrate your experiences, and to step forward without leaving pieces of yourself behind. For the chosen, wholeness is power, and wholeness comes from honoring every chapter of the journey. The dreams remind you that your strength did not appear overnight. It was built, lesson by lesson, season by season. Nothing was wasted. So the next time you find yourself standing in a place you've outgrown, don't question it. Listen, reflect, receive. Your soul is speaking in symbols, reminding you that you are aligned, evolving, and ready. The past is no longer a weight, it is fuel, and your destiny is unfolding exactly as it should.